This episode is brought to you by CoolStuffInc.com, the #1 seller of games and gaming accessories. And GatheringMagic.com, the #1 resource for Magic the Gathering news and articles.
Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to a online cube draft. And this pack has some good cards in it. Ones that stand out. Balance is typically a card that a lot of other people really like. I don't really like it that much in cube. I found that it's often Wrath, Armageddon, and Discard Your End, which can be good sometimes, but a lot of times it just doesn't really do anything. It is a pretty good card when you mulligan, though. I think I'm leaning towards the Sword. Like, Sword of Body Mind's okay. It's not like amazing or anything, but like it avoids committing to a color, and there's nothing that really jumps out at me that is like a build around me card. That what I typically like to do in cube drafts is like just take an early card that's like a build around me and just go all in on it. But there's really nothing here. Like, I could take a Reanimate, but I don't really like Reanimator, so I'm gonna go with the Sword of Body Mind here. It seems like a safe pick. Alrighty, Vraska's a new one. I'm not sure how good it is in cube, and oh, why do they use the new art for these? That's just silly. Alrighty, let's see. What do I want? I mean, Planeswalkers are typically pretty good. It's awesome how like you can't tell if it's a plus or a minus on the two abilities. Not really sure what I want to take here. I think I'm leaning towards the Vraska just because Planeswalkers tend to be really good. We could also take Bloodgift Demon, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna take the Planeswalker. Like, I haven't played with it in cube before, so this is as good as time as any to figure out how good it is. Oh, let's see. A lot of Golgari cards going around. Big fan of bounce lands. I might take the Rod Farm, but I mean, there's definitely other cards I could take as well. Shorefang's okay. Regrowth is fine. Not really sure how aggro I'm going to be. Yeah, I don't really know what's going on with this pack. I think I'm just gonna take the Rot Farm, just because like these bounce lines are just so powerful, and it allows you to have like really sketchy mana bases too. So there's nothing else that really jumps out at me here. So I'm just gonna take the land. Alrighty, Ancestral Vision, that's a good one. As is Deranged Hermit. Nether Void can be good, but I have no idea if I'm a Nether Void deck. I'm very tempted to take this Ancestral Vision just because like drawing 3 cards is just always awesome. I can't not take Ancestral Vision. I mean, come on. I'm not really giving up much to take it either. So and I could always go into like a bug style deck. So yeah, I'll go with the Ancestral Vision here. Alrighty. Dark Ritual is a trap. Still Moon Cavaliers, fine. Treetop Village is fine. I think I'm going to go with Preordain. I like Preordain a lot, actually. I think it's one of my favorite Magic cards. Like, it's not like I wouldn't put it in top 5, but probably top 10. Yeah, it's just such a good card. I'm always happy to have a Preordain. There's just nothing else in the pack that I really want. Like, these are just random crappy cards. The Draco Genius. Could take a Savannah. I mean, dual lands are pretty good, and the rest of these cards are just kind of junky. Like, I'm really not interested in any of these cards, and like these giant dragons are fairly replaceable in cube drafts. And I don't think we really have the mana base to support it. I do like drafting like random Durley control decks, so like the original duels are pretty good for that purpose. And once you start getting fetch lands, they start getting really good. Alrighty, so I could take a Wrath, Frost Titan's fine, I guess. Rude Awakening's a pretty good win condition for this kind of deck, but I want to make sure I don't die to like aggro decks, so maybe taking a Wrath here is a good idea. I'm kind of going into like a 4-color control type of thing. Ooh, Scalding Tarn. And Wall of Blossoms. And Flame Tongue Kavu. Ooh. Jeez. This draft is just going to be all over the place. I think I'm just going to go with the Scalding Tarn. That way, like, I can, any, like, dual land I pick up later, I can just fetch with it. I think going into, like, a 5th color here is going a little bit too deep. I could always just be just straight blue-white and just ignore these Golgari cards. I think Scalding Tarn is just the safest pick here. I like having, like, solid mana bases in Cube. Alrighty, so I can take Oust, I can take Memory Lapse, Fire Mage Angel's okay, but... again, like, the big expensive, like, win conditions are very replaceable, whereas, like, the cheap answers are not. I think I like Oust a little bit more than Memory Lapse, so I'm gonna go with that one. Okie dokie. Wow, Bloodgift Demon came all the way back. That's interesting. Don't think I really want to go into red. I could take a Signet here. It enables splashing of Vraska a lot easier. I can also cast Bloodgift Demon much easier. I think Bloodgift Demon is powerful enough that it's worth taking over a Signet, so I'm gonna take that guy. I'm happy to draft 4 colors. I'm happy to draft Esper. I'm happy to draft just straight blue white. So I could even just, I don't know, abandon some of these blue cards. Like, this draft can really go into a lot of different directions, which is like another big reason I like taking lands highly, just because that leaves you open for a lot of different options. Out of these cards, like Flicker, like this isn't really a Flicker Wisp deck. Like, I don't think I'm interested in Black Knight, Fire Ice. Red is like the one color I'm pretty sure I'm not going to be in, so I think I'm just going to go the Short Fang here, but I might not play it. It might just be like a sideboard card. So I could take a Route, could take a Brushland. If I'm planning on casting this Vraska, I probably should take the Brushland. And like Route is fine. Like there's no shortage of Wrath effects in Cube, so again, I think it's just better to have a consistent mana base. I gotta take the Still Moon Cavalier just because it's randomly good against a lot of decks. So, like, again, I'm not like completely sure what colors I'm gonna end up being in. Like, I don't have any like, oh my god, I have to play cards. Like, all my cards are like about the same relative to each other. Like, I don't really have any standouts. Like, the only card I would consider a standout is like Ancestral Vision, just because like drawing 3 cards is amazing. Um, Other than that, like maybe the Vraska, but it's like a whatever. It's gonna hide this Frenzied Goblin since I'm pretty sure this is not going to be a Frenzied Goblin deck. That's safe to say. Just before this draft started, I was reading in the comments that someone opened a pack with all 9 pieces of power in it. Just ridiculous. Speaking of ridiculous, probably gonna slam down Grave Titan here. Like, Grave Titan, like, I know I've said many times that like big expensive win conditions are very replaceable, but Grave Titan is just so good. Like, it's insane. Like, it's pretty hard to lose a game after you've cast a Grave Titan. So I'm hoping this Venser comes back because obviously those two combined together will be quite the force to deal with. But even if like a Wrath of God or a Miscalculation comes back, or even like Karn, like I'll be happy with any of those. So I think for now we're just gonna slam the Grave Titan, and I'm leaning more towards like a Esper kind of control deck. I might just abandon this Vraska. Like, Vraska's the only like non-Esper card I have, and then there's also this Golgari Rod Farm, but I might just play it anyway. If I pick up like a Shelldock Isle, then I'll play every bounce land I have, just because like if you get to rebuy your Shelldock Isle, it's just insane. Like you're just getting free cards. All right. Well, Sorin Lord of Innistrad is pretty good for what I'm going for. This Esper style deck. I'm really hoping this Orzhov Basilica comes back. I'm not really holding out any hope of that, but you know, stranger things have happened. But yeah, Sorin seems like a very easy pick here. The templating on these online cards is just like you'd think this is something they would have figured out like very early in testing. It's ridiculous. Alrighty. Ooh, Elish Norn, that's a good one. Demonic Tutor is also a good one, but Ancestral Recall, can't pass that. Nice third pick Ancestral. um, yeah, there's no way I can possibly pass that card. So yeah, let's slam it. Like the only card I would take over Ancestral is like Sol Ring, and even then, like, no, I would definitely take Sol Ring over Ancestral even in this deck. But it's been a while since I've cast an Ancestral Recall. Since most of the cubing I do with my friends is with is unpowered. Like one of my friends has a powered cube, but like his cube is kind of weird, so like the power isn't even that good in it. So, but even then, like Ancestral is still almost always a first pick. So here we could take either a Go for the Throat or an Underground River. Again, I really highly value the mana fixing. So like having like a terror effect is fine, but you can't really replace having a good mana base, especially in a 3-color deck. So I'm gonna take the Underground River here. I know a lot of people might disagree with this pick, but I just really strongly value having consistent mana. Okay. Well, as much as I value having consistent mana, I also value having a ton of planeswalkers. Liliana Vale should work out quite nicely in this deck. There's definitely other cards in this pack that I would like to come back. This Gifts Ungiven, which is again another one of my favorite cards in Magic, just because like it's always awesome every time you cast it. And a Watergrave is obviously what I'm looking for. Also, Slaughter Pact is a decent one. I don't really expect any of those cards to come back, but I guess we'll have to just take the Liliana here and be happy. Okay. Well, Sphinx of the Steel Wind is a big win condition and a pretty big game against either red or green decks, but I mean, I have enough win conditions, so I think the choice here is between Impulse and Ultimate Price. I think I should be taking the Ultimate Price here. Like, I don't really have any targeted removal, and in terms of like card draw / card filtering, like I have Ancestral Vision, Ancestral Recall, and Preordain, so I think I'm fine there. So this should be able to complement the Oust and make sure that I don't die quickly to the really aggro decks. So yeah, Ultimate Price there seems like the pick. All right, I'm gonna start hiding these green lands just because I'm pretty sure we're just mono Esper here. Speaking of mono Esper, Path to Exile, one of the better removal spells. I mean, one of the better removal spells ever. So it's definitely going to go in our deck. And it's not really like we're really taking it over anything. Like stuff like Gideon's Lawkeeper is, I mean, in regular draft they're very high picks, but in cube draft, like you're gonna have a lot of super effects, and like cards like this are typically better in like aggro control decks rather than just straight up like Durl control decks. Than is what I'm playing here. So I'm definitely gonna take the Path to Exile here. I'm gonna also hide this. I'll leave the Rod Farm for now, just because like I want to make sure that I don't forget that it's there in case that I do see a Shelldock Isle. But if I don't get a Shelldock Isle, then I'm almost certainly not playing it. As much as I love Dark Confidant, I don't think this is a Dark Confidant deck, just because we have a lot of like big expensive cards. I'd consider taking it just so that no one else gets it, but there's another card here that I could play. So Yeah, I'm gonna take the Sphinx of Jor-El, but it pains me to pass the Dark Confidant. Like I really like that guy, but I really can't afford to play a card like that in this deck. And Venser came back, which makes me very happy. Definitely gonna take it over Wrath of God, just because like I already have the Supreme Verdict, and like I don't want too many master removal cards. And Venser just has very good synergy with obviously Grave Titan, and I think that's it at this point. But even like by itself, it's still fine. So like again, it's another card that would be pretty awesome if I pick up a Shelldock Isle. But yeah, I'm just gonna take the Venser here, and I'm gonna look for more cards that have enter the battlefield effects. Pretty happy to pick up an Orzhov Basilica here. I can just hide the rock farm since I no longer need it. And this is probably not a Delver deck, so also not a Student of Warfare deck, but Exalted Angel, always happy to play that. I think I'm gonna hide this Vraska. Like I have enough Planeswalkers, and like, uh, I don't know. I might splash it if I can find like a dual land that is not Savannah. No, actually, like I have the Savannah, so like if I find like a white fetch land, I might play it. Out of these cards, I don't want to lose to Molten Rain, so let's get that out of here. And Gifts Ungiven came back. I guess I'll take it. It's not really a great Gifts Ungiven deck, so I might not play it, but we'll see. Sarcomancy, definitely not playing that one. Probably will need to pick up some creatures at some point, but eh. Who needs creatures? I'm just like model Planeswalker control here. Ooh, Consecrated Sphinx. That is a good one. There's actually a lot of good ones in this pack. Inquisition's typically a pretty good card. Consuming Vapors is pretty good. Agony Warp is fine. I don't think I can pass up a Consecrated Sphinx though. Like, it's pretty high up there in terms of like amazing 6-drops that are just unbeatable. So, yeah, I don't think I can pass it up here. Alrighty, Skin Render seems like. Oh wait, the Swords of Plowshares and Control Magic. Oh, that's actually tough now. I'm leaning more towards the Control Magic, just because being able to steal a guy is generally better than being able to kill a guy. And it kind of doubles as a win condition, so yeah, I'm gonna take the Control Magic. I'm like just a sucker for those effects. Okay, well, we could take another Control Magic effect here in Sower of Temptation, or Old Man of the Sea. As much as I love Old Man of the Sea, Sower of Temptation is just better, so I'm probably going to take that. I could also take Worn Power Stone, but it's not that good. I think I'd rather just take the Sower. If Angel of Despair comes back, I might play it, but I doubt it. Ooh, Gideon. Jeez. Just... Alright, well, I guess I'll take another Planeswalker. Just keep jamming the Planeswalkers in. I think it's pretty safe to cut Vraska here. I can even blink other Planeswalkers with Venser. How broken is that? I can rebuy Sower, like... This is just getting crazy. I think it's safe to cut Sphinx of Jor-El since I have enough 6-drops. I think I'm going to cut Bane of the Living too. It's not really that good. Alright. What do we got here? Jeez. Well, Sun Titan doesn't actually do much in my deck. I mean, it's good, but I don't think it's good enough for this deck. Careful Consideration is also a really good one. So is Serendib Efreet. Like, there's actually legitimately a lot of options for me in this pack. Yeah, I'm not sure. So, what I'm leaning towards is either Serendipity or Careful Consideration. This is probably wrong, but I'm gonna take the Serendipity just because I'm pretty short on creatures, and it does a pretty good job on both offense and defense. So it's hard for me to pass that one up. Uh, what does a Johnny do up again? Okay, well, I feel like I have enough Planeswalkers, and a Johnny is not even good in my deck, so we can disregard that one. I guess I can just take a Diabolic Edict. It's a nice, cheap removal spell. Deals with a lot of annoying cards. Don't think I want Shapeshifter or Crusader, so yeah, Diabolic Edict seems like a good option here. Jeez, more Planeswalkers. I guess I can take a Jace. I don't think I can splash a Johnny. I could also take Stormforge Mystic, but I only have Sword of Body Mind to get with it, and it's not even that, like, yeah, it's gotta be Jace. It's gotta be Jace. Like, if that was a GT, I would slam the Stoneforge, but, like, it's not worth playing it for just Sword of Body and Mind. So let's do a count of my Planeswalkers here. We have Jace Bellerin. We have Liliana of the Veil. We have Sorin, Lord of Innistrad. We have Venser the Sojourner. And Gideon Jura. And Vraska on the sideboard. Ooh, Lantax. I don't know for a Lantax deck, to be honest. Because, like, I really have to make my land drops, but, like, I can't afford to play the land tax game where I just say go and like not play lands. I really think I need more early defense. So like again, land tax is just not a card that like I've had a ton of success with. Like it's not a card I really like that much. Like if you pick it early and can build around it, then fine. But um, I I, I don't know. I'm sure a lot of people disagree with that pick, but I really don't. I really don't like land tax that much. It just even when it's good, it's like it's not fun. I like it just makes the game like take forever and just becomes boring and like even if it's like the best card to take there, like I just don't want it in my deck. I just think I take an Agony Warp here. Like I'd rather make my deck a little bit worse and at least have some fun playing rather than making my deck better and just not having any fun. Alright, so I don't think Agony Warp is going to make the main deck. I'll definitely side it in against like really aggro decks. Short Fang can get out of here. Guess I didn't pick up any dual lands for the Scalding Tarn, so I might cut it. We'll see. Serendip can stay. Cavalier can stay. I think I'm going to cut the Gifts Ungiven because I don't have any cards that interact with the graveyard, so it's less good. So I guess I can make one more cut. I'm probably just going to cut this Venser, to be honest. I don't really, like, other than the Grave Titan, I don't have anything that goes with the Venser. And if you have a Grave Titan in play, your chances are you're already winning. So it doesn't seem like I really need it. Although now I've just picked up a Skin Render, so that might change my my opinion of Venser. Angel Despair is really expensive. Like, well, I have to admit that Old Man of the Sea is kind of a pet card of mine. I think I have to take the Angel Despair though. Like, it's on color and it does so much. Actually, Venser might not be awful because I also have the Wall of Omens. Jeez, I just have so many options here. I feel like I'm really in the right colors. Although maybe the blues, like I can't even say the blues been getting cut off because I got past Ancestral Recall like third pick. So I guess I'll take Terminus here. Probably won't main deck it. Yeah, like I'm just in the exact right colors. I'm like, oh sure, like third last pick Sun Titan, no problem. I guess I'll take it since I'm not playing either one of those other cards. And sure, second last pick, Mirror Crusader. I'll take it. And yeah, well, kind of expected that guy to go last pick. That's not a surprise. All right, so I definitely gonna have to figure out what my cuts are gonna be. So I'm gonna take a few minutes to put this together, and we'll see you guys in just a sec. Hey guys, welcome back. So this is what we're gonna be submitting. I have a feeling that a lot of people might disagree with some of the cards I've cut, but I feel like this is probably the best configuration. Before I explain the card options, I just want to point out that I love the fact that they've put in the unhinged lands for the basic land choices. That's a nice touch. I was like using like the ratty old crappy lands for previous cubes was a pretty big misplay, but I'm glad they corrected that. So cut the sword, cut Stillmoon Cavalier, cut Venser. Um, just well, okay for a few reasons. So Venser is goes really well with a couple cards in my deck, but doesn't really do anything by itself. Stillmoon Cavalier is okay, and Sword of Body Mind again doesn't do anything by itself, and I really don't have a ton of creatures, so a lot of times it's just going to be a dead draw. I kind of want every card in my deck to do something. So that's why I have cards like Bloodgift Demon, for instance. Like all my creatures are big threats by themselves. Like Skinrider obviously isn't a big threat by itself, but it does a pretty good job of killing whatever they have, or at least making it smaller so that I can get to my late game and start playing my big boom booms. Other than that, everything in this deck is designed to either stall to the late game or just like take over the game by itself. So, other than that, I have a lot of relevant sideboard cards. Like, I have a lot of things that, like, either have protection or give protection. So, like, Mirror Crusader, Stillmoon Cavalier, Sword of Body and Mind. Those are definitely going to be coming in against decks that have those colors. And against decks with a lot of creatures, I can board in an additional Wrath effect. I may want to bring in, like, Agony Warp against the really quick decks. So, like, I have a lot of options. I might even bring in like Nearheath Pilgrim just to block and maybe even get to Soul Bond with it later on. But yeah, I mean I like the way this is built. This is like fairly typical of a lot of the decks I draft in Cube, and typically I do fairly well with them. But you never know. Like I could always get mana screwed. Like my mana base is pretty sketchy. Like I have 5 of each basic, and unfortunately I didn't get to get any good dual lands. So I have an Underground River and a Basilica. So hopefully that's enough. And other than that, I'm looking forward to playing a deck with 4 Planeswalkers in it. So that's should be pretty good. And we'll see you guys in round 1. Peace.